And now let's go ahead and move on into one of our very favorite segments of the town hall to Sarah. Tell us all about Walt Disney, our artist of the week.
Hi, good morning. I can't believe this is Town Hall 99. That's so crazy. Time flies. I had so much fun researching this artist, this person for this week. Of course, it's Walt Disney. I have such fond memories of Disney films and Disneyland. And I thought it would be fun that during my presentation, since we're all familiar with Walt Disney or Disney films on some level, it would be fun for everyone to put their favorite Disney film in the chat. So Walter Elias Disney was an American animator, film producer, and entrepreneur. He was a pioneer of the American animation industry, and he introduced several developments in the production of cartoons. Born in Chicago in 1901, Disney developed an early interest in drawing. He took art classes as a boy and got a job as a commercial illustrator at the age of 18. His family then moved from Chicago to Kansas City, where these early comics were made. These, of course, resemble similar comics of the time, and this was before he started getting into animation specifically. He moved to California in the early 1920s and set up the Disney Brothers studio with his brother Roy, which eventually became Walt Disney Studios. In 1928, Walt Disney and Ub Iwerks was his close partner, created the character of Mickey Mouse. It was probably inspired by a real pet mouse that Walt had previously. And the original name of the mouse was actually Mortimer Mouse, but Walt's wife Lillian thought it to be kind of pompous and instead suggested Mickey. And in the top left corner, you can see the first ever appearance of Mickey Mouse in Steamboat Willie in 1928, which to this day is still famous and beloved because it was the first animated film with synced sound. So, for example, you could see Mickey whistling on the boat and you would hear the whistling as you were watching it, which was a new concept. Of course, storyboards are a key tool for both animators and filmmakers in general. They're not only a roadmap for the plot of the film, but they also show and preview the visual tone and the style to the film. So with Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie being a hit, Disney Studios really moved into what's known as the golden age of animation, starting in 1934. And Disney was dissatisfied with animated shorts, and he really wanted to start producing feature-length animated films. So here we have Snow White, Pinocchio, Dumbo, and Bambi on this slide. And this was really just the beginning of a very long-lasting legacy. So Disney used his fame and popularity in culture to have influence on with World War II. Shortly after the release of Dumbo in October 1941, the US entered World War II. So Disney formed the Walt Disney Training Films Unit within the company to produce instruction films for the military, such as 4 methods of flush riveting and aircraft production methods were 2 of those films. So in early 1950, Disney produced Cinderella, his studio's first animated feature in 8 years. And it was very popular with critics and theater audiences. It costs $2.2 million to produce and earned nearly $8 million in its first year. So a big win for the company. And this led to a series of successful feature animated films like Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and Sleeping Beauty. In 1932, Disney won both his first competitive Oscar and an honorary Oscar at the 5th Annual Academy Awards. He won the honorary one for the creation of Mickey Mouse, and he also won for Best Animated Short that year. In total, he received 59 Academy Award nominations, including 22 awards. And he also received 3 honorary Oscars, making a total of 26. So he holds the record for most nominations and most wins for an individual in history. So for several years, Disney had been considering building a theme park. When he visited Griffith Park in Los Angeles with his daughters, he wanted it to be in a clean, unspoiled park where both children and their parents could have fun. He also visited the Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen, Denmark, and was heavily influenced by the cleanliness and the layout of the park. So in March 1952, he received zoning permission to build a theme park in Burbank near the Disney Studios, but the site proved too small. So he then bought a larger plot in Anaheim, 35 miles south of the studio. And Disney actually used his own money to fund a group of designers and animators to work on the plans. And those people became known as Imagineers. Disney died from lung cancer a few days after his 65th birthday, but he really left such a lasting legacy that's only getting bigger and more global. Mickey Mouse will forever be a cultural icon representing childlike imagination. And the Disney company continues to grow and expand. For example, they now own the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They have Disney Plus, their streaming service. So they're always growing and expanding. So I'd love to look in the chat and see what everyone said. Alice in Wonderland, Fantasia, Moana, The Rookie, Lion King, Frozen, very fun. I would have to say my favorite is The Aristocats, which was released in 1970. So thanks, everyone.
Cool. Thank you, Sarah. As always, an excellent art talk. It's always great to hear more about Walt Disney.
Look what I just found in the SMA archives.
Whoa, oh, can I give this a try?
Cool. Of course.
Sure. One day I will need you.
Whoa.
I'll tell you, if you've ever seen the archives, you think of National Treasure. That's what it looks like.
Well, thank you. Why don't I take some of this stuff back to the archives?
All right. Let's take it back to the archives.
Yeah,
Thank you so
starting to
much.
feel like I was back in grade school. My teachers used to make me sit.
Thank you. And goodbye, Lion
like
King and Simba. Yes.
Bye.
All right. And Sarah, I mean, what a wonderful, incredible individual. Our lives would be so different if we did not have Walt Disney in our lives, right? So unique in the hearts of many children of all ages, right? And Walt started in 1920. That's 102 years of imagining, dreaming, inventing, and creating.
You know, there are at least 145 Disney films, and I don't even know how you would pick what your favorite would be. But I guess, you know, if you got to pick one, it would be Steamboat Willie, right? Because that's the first. That started everything.
It did. It did.